Hello and a warm welcome back to the channel of Motorbike Nonsense. Now, I think the BMW F900GS is a bit like the time I got invited to a pegging party. I took along all of my favourite closed pegs, the red ones, the yellow ones, and I got there and I thought, oh, this isn't what I expected whatsoever. And it's a bit like this bike, because when you tell people you've bought a GS, they think you've bought a big boxer twin, not a parallel twin like this. But anyway, it's been updated for 2024. It's mostly new, to be honest. And in this video, I'm going to be taking on-road and off-road to find out if it is a pleasurable ride that leaves you wanting more, unlike the night I had at that party. Sorry about that intro, it was a bit weird, wasn't it? But anyway, this is the new F900GS. I'm out here in the hills just outside of Amsterdam to test it off-road with Simon Pavey. But let's talk about the looks. Let's talk about what this, it's now a £12,000 motorbike, gets you for your money. And the big news really is the looks have changed. It's got this kind of slimmer headlight. It's got the light bar that BMW puts on all its bikes now. It's a more purposeful looking thing, especially with the Enduro Pro package. Obviously it's a BMW, it's got add-ons, and one of them is the Enduro Pro package, which gives you these much bigger, chunkier than standard Showa forks. 21-inch front wheels, as you might expect. It is properly kitted out at the moment. We're on Karoo 4 tyres, which I have to say, we've been riding fast on the road, and we'll see some of that in a bit. And it's wet on the tarmac, and these have just gripped and gripped and gripped. I've been really impressed. But yeah, you get quite a lot of stuff as standard for this bike, though, to be honest. For a BMW, I've been blown away. So yeah, you get no crap if it's exhaust as standard with this kind of neat little carbon end cap. Look at these pegs, they're super chunky. Is the camera going to go down there? Yeah, super chunky pegs. And you've got this handy little thing for off-road where you can, you can flick the brake lever. Which way does it go? Like that. So you can have it like that for on-road riding, or you can flick it down to make the rear brake peg a bit higher for off-roading. So if you're wearing thick-soled boots, you can just get to it a lot better. Yeah, you get different rear shock as well, the Enduro Pro pack. The engine, that's kind of new for this year as well. It's 40 cc's bigger than before, so it's now 895cc with 105 horsepower and 93 newton meters of torque. You can get an F800 still, which doesn't look as new as this, hasn't got the new face. That gets 87 horsepower and less torque. But yeah, other changes, the fuel tank is now plastic rather than metal to save weight. And this bike has lost 14 kilos, I think. But yeah, it's lost half a litre of fuel capacity, so it's down to 14.5. BMW reckons that's still good enough for 204 miles, getting 60 mpg. It's got a lighter swing arm than before, it's got a lighter battery than before. It's got the usual BMW 6.5-inch TFT, which is all very lovely. You can see I've got Enduro Pro on this, which lets you lock the back wheel up and do wheelies, none of which I will be doing, but I do like having my rear ABS off. And yeah, heated grips, all that good stuff over there. No cruise control though. I'm not actually sure that's an option. I'll put it on screen if it is an option. Another part of the Enduro Pro pack, handlebar risers. You can just see them in there, raise the handlebars up for more off-roadiness. And you've got the M Endurance chain, which I think I've read lots on the internet about that. It's not zero maintenance, it's just less maintenance and might last a bit longer. You've got a quick shifter up and down as well on this. And you've got this 12mm bar on there for attaching. They say action cameras. I think most people are going to use that as a sat-nav mount. But there we go. That's the bike in a quick nutshell. It's going to cost more like 14, 15 grand with all of these options on it. But I think it looks really ruddy bloody good. Certainly, I think, a bit better than the last one. Right, we're going to go riding now, off-road and on-road. I want to point out that there is the F900GS Adventure still, which has got a much bigger fuel tank, about 23 litres, I think, and is a few £1,000s more than this bike. No, a few £100s more than this bike. But it doesn't get the new face. It still looks really old. Same for the F800. They've got the new engine. They've been updated, but they've not given it the looks of this bike. And BMW says that's because they want to differentiate the F900GS from the GS Adventure by means other than just having a bigger fuel tank. So I reckon, this is off topic here, the new 1300GS Adventure, which is coming out later this year, won't look like the normal 1300GS, but we'll see. Anyway, that's waffle and conjecture. Let's ride the bloody thing wobbling around off-road and on-road. Welcome aboard the BMW F900GS. In front of me is off-road legend Simon Pavey, but we're actually obviously on road at the moment. So my first impressions of this bike are that it feels like a seriously equipped off-road bike. Like the tank is very narrow between my legs, I'm sitting very high, the foot pegs are gnarly and grippy. I'm wearing my big off-road boots and I feel very at home on this bike. It feels like BMW has developed this to get dirty more than to do big tours, and as a result this screen, this small cut down off-road screen, is giving me quite a lot of noise, and I'm only doing 80 kilometers an hour. So yeah, this feels already like a machine with a purpose, and that purpose is not necessarily tarmac, but despite the fact we've got some pretty knobbly tyres on, this feels pretty good on road. It doesn't have that horrible kind of leaden turning that you sometimes get when you get a 21-inch front wheel with off-road tyres on it. It feels pretty natural. Now obviously we're not going flat out at all on the road. This is a very measured ride. We've got quite a few people in our group who haven't even ridden an off-road type bike before, or on knobblies, and I'm a bit of a novice as well when it comes to that stuff, but this feels like a really comfortable companion for getting between dirty trails. Now I say really comfortable, I'm talking mostly about the suspension there, because the seat is thin and it's quite narrow. Obviously being narrow, it's designed so you can get your feet down and have more control off-road, but I think for long days in the saddle this isn't going to be the one. This is going to be the one for long days standing up on the pegs. But yeah, the engine is pretty tractable, parallel twin, 105 horsepower as I've said. All day yesterday I was riding boxer twins, and they can lug, they can really lug like 20 miles an hour. Oh, we're going down here, are we? Oh, excellent. This can't lug quite as hard as a boxer can low down, but it's pretty tractable, as I said. So you can stick it in third and it will be okay, but you need to shift down occasionally. It just hasn't got the capacity, I guess. But it's got some mumbo though. It's got some character as well. It's got a real nice bark to it through the standard fit of Krapovic exhaust. But yeah, I'm just in road mode at the moment, and it's just a very friendly, soft bike at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how it feels when we get onto some gravel roads and dirt roads and start standing up and being a little bit more off-road dynamic, aka Simon Pavey laughing at my novice green laning skills. That's what today's all about, really. I'm a child. Don't get this down your green lane. A white kidnap van. Right back on road on the F900 after that quick dirt trail. I have to say, this thing, when it's leant over on knobbly tyres, doesn't feel that bad at all. It's kind of giving us the confidence to do some corners at a reasonable rate of lean and knots without feeling like you're falling off the edge of the world, which is not something I expected. Whenever I ride on knobbly tyres on the road, I always feel a bit reserved, but this morning, famous last words, but this feels pretty good. Pretty good. The drive out of corners is nice and linear, and in road mode it's got a little bit of a top end, but you can just surf the mid-range on this. That's where it feels happiest. It feels very BMW, even though it's a parallel twin, not boxer twin. It feels decent. Yeah, a bit of traction control there, but I didn't really feel it. Nice. So yeah, this is the same engine that's in the F900R and I want to say XR. So yeah, it's not anything new, it's just new in this. Around we go. Probably holding username Kate up behind me, sorry Kate. Delicious sweetie bend. Now you're probably not going to be able to hear me over all the wind noise that I'm getting in my helm, but I'm so impressed with how this F900 goes on the road. I thought this was going to be a bit of a write-off, this video, because I'm like, they're all on knobblies and we're doing an off-road morning, really. But actually, this bike gives you so much confidence through damp, shitty, wet tarmac at 60 miles an hour on some twisty roads. I'm not saying I'm riding it like I would a bike on normal tyres, but it's really not far off. That's where I got the peg down on an R12 yesterday. Yeah, and you get a bit of traction light flickering in the corner of your eye on the exit of a corner, but I mean, it's looking after you. It feels pretty good. It feels really good. It feels really good. So yes, the F900 actually is proving to be not necessarily a fun road bike, but a much more competent one in off-road configuration than perhaps I anticipated. You have to put it in Enduro Pro if you want to wheelie though. and I'm not very good at wheelies, so I'll just leave that tidbit there for all you heroes that will be wheeling these rather, not wheeling, it's not a bin. It just responds well to like positive counter steering. You can get your elbows out and ride it reasonably aggressively within the limits of like having knobbly tyres on, but those limits are much higher than little old me thought. I just don't want to go into the back of Simon Pavey. I think that would be bad for the CV, wouldn't it? Ooh, damp mid-corner. Loving it. Absolutely bloody loving it. More than McDonald's, I would say. Now, the brakes have got a reasonably soft bite, but that's to be expected from a bike that has got off-road in its DNA. And you get a bit of fork dive, but it's well controlled. You're not like blowing through the stroke straight away, as you would hope with these Enduro Pro show thick boy suspenders. But yeah, you've got a nice bit of support there. Now let's do some more dirt, please, because I want to breathe out of my bum hole for a little while. That's alright, isn't it? I wouldn't have got up here on an R12, that's for bloody sure. Look at that view! Look at that view! Sorry, it's his name Kate. That's quite entertaining. Alright, let's go. We're going to go and do that little zigzag trail down the side of the hill, which has got a water feature on it apparently, so that'll be exciting. Yeah, look at this. This is kind of stuff that, you know, is not too technical hopefully, but anyone could do this. We were just chatting about this. Anyone could do this with the right bike and with a bit of guidance. You just do it at your own pace. I've only ridden off-road about 4 times in my life maybe. And yeah, you just get your own speed you're comfortable with. But yeah, this bike is definitely one of those things that probably makes me look a bit better than I actually am. There's some loosey-goosey shit. And I think BMW does adventure kind of touring stuff out here with Simon Pavey and his off-road band of merry men. Because apparently it turns out motorbiking isn't all about doing 80-mile-an-hour wheelies down the local dual carriageway. Yeah, this feels so easy, because I guess it is. But if I'm finding it easy on this bike, then now I'll take my earplugs out. This bike's actually got quite a nice induction roar. It's got un petit peu of a bark. So I love having the big wide enduro foot pegs, really lovely for weighting the pegs through the turns and just locking you into the bike. It's easy to move around. The nice narrow tank between your legs means you can yeah, move around on it. Drop it into your thigh. Oh, where are we going? Yeah, I know I look like a right dork not wearing a Pete's helmet for this, but yeah, bike launches where you're doing on-road stuff and off-road stuff are tricky, because I can't really carry 2 helmets and I can't be asked to swap GoPros and microphones between them, so look down there. Probably don't look down there, person who's riding this motorbike, aka me, but that is a big old drop. Last time I did any serious off-road course on an adventure bike was on an Africa Twin in wet British mud. I have to say, on this dry Portuguese gravelly soil stuff, on these tyres on much lighter bikes, it feels like I'm cheating, to be honest. It's probably very boring to look at on YouTube, but basically what it's telling me is that on light off-road trails, this bike feels really manageable. It feels very easy to handle and kind of move around on. It's got a very nice power delivery. I've got it in Enduro Pro, but with the throttle set to like a reasonably soft road mode. And I'm just not having any dramas yet. Don't speak too soon, Rody. Apart from the fact I've got to have my visor up, so you probably can't hear me. And my eyes are wetter than a fish at a lesbian tea party. Now, one thing I am finding is the gear shift lever is a little bit on the low side for my likings. Standing up in off-road boots, I'd probably want to reposition that higher. Rear brake's just fine with that little flip out thing on it. Doggy, lots of dogs around. I was going to say stray dogs, that's clearly not stray, it's outside someone's house. Right, now I'm going to sit down. Excellent fun. What confidence inspiring machine. Like, for a beginner off-roader like me, that made this feel very easy, very relaxed, and I kind of want to just go and do it again. So I think I probably am. Oh, that was in my face. sappy, soggy tree branch to the mouth. That's why you wear goggles and a proper off-road helmet. Something about doing this just speaks to the child in me, because it's not a threatening bike in any way. It's not too heavy, it's not too powerful, but it's got enough oomph and enough torque to easily like let you be a dick and slide it and light up the rear wheels. This is the most fun I've had on bikes in a long time. This has stopped becoming an F900GS review and just like a motorbike's a good review. I got too close to Kate there, sorry Kate. There's those rocks, it's pretty supple as well. It's not a jarring ride, but it's also not blowing through. It's suspension travel, which is good because I'm blowing out my arse and I'm quite heavy, I'm 100 kilos, and this isn't extreme off-roading I imagine, but it's good to know it's not going to be bottoming out over green lanes back in the UK, unless you're going a lot faster, you're a lot heavier, and more extreme. Oh hello, I see a river crossing. I love getting wet on motorbikes, like not rain, I like water coming up my legs, not down them. Don't kink shame me people. Send it or gentle caress. I think Mr. Pavey is going to dictate the pace here. Definitely went off the side of the concrete bit that's under there. That's childish, that's pointless, but it's so much fun. Alright, I've come to the end of my day with the BMW F900GS, the 2024 model. And if you can't tell by the sweat pouring from my head, the river water in my pants, I've had a really good time on it. Now, I've done most of this video off-road because I think that's really what BMW is pitching this as. It's like a tracer, not a tracer, I always say tracer. It's a Tenere rival, but it's way more premium, got way more of an electronics package. And I found that really helpful because I've been power sliding out of corners, drifting it, power sliding everywhere, locking up the back end, knowing that it's still got my back and it's still got lean sensitive traction control that will catch it at a certain point. So actually this has enhanced my off-road enjoyment by having all of that tech stuff. Now, it is expensive. It's going to be about 14 grand with the Enduro Pro Pack and all the rest of it on. It's kind of 12 grand basic, and you do want all this stuff, I would say, if you're going to go off-road. The handlebar risers, the forks, all that kind of stuff has massively helped, I think, today. We've been on some pretty rough, rocky terrain, and it's just made it feel easy, and that is really the biggest compliment I can give this bike. Off-road, it's made it feel easy, it's given me confidence, and I've had so much fun on it that I might not have had on a bike that's slightly more primitive in the electronics department and a bit heavier. This kind of doesn't feel top heavy, it feels manageable, it feels fun. And the surprise to me has been on-road, on these tyres, you can really hoon it. You get the traction control like flickering out of corners, but the punch from the engine is really impressive. It's not the most characterful bike, and I wouldn't say it's the most fun road bike, but if you're after a bike that can kind of cover distances on road with comfort and enough power, apart from the seat, you need to upgrade the seat, and then do some off-roading, this is one of the best options out there. Bloody impressed. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, you get a medal as usual. Go down to the comments and leave me the German word for there are Portuguese salmon in between my toes. If that's not a fetish, I don't know what is. See you next time.